and welcome back to the Magic Kathi show. I was really sitting with what I wanted to talk about in the next episode, and what's coming through is something a little bit different, but I feel like it's very important for us to plug into that. And that's why I probably will even label this episode, "You're the algorithm." You really are the algorithm. It's very important for us right now, what I feel with the upcoming Uranus-Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, with Pluto now being in Aquarius, and all the energy shifts that we are witnessing on the planet. I want to speak more about our understanding of frequencies, because I've always seen the world in frequencies and vibrations, right? And it is more dominant and evident and I guess obvious for people how sensitive we have become. Or let me phrase it in a different way, how aware we are now that we are so sensitive, actually. Because we've always been, right? We've always been in tune with the environment and nature. The thing is that over the last years, we've put so much into our environment that we disconnected more and more from actually the frequencies that would work with us and for us. And so I want to speak about technology here, because I think it's very important for us to differentiate and to use it in a way that helps us and not in a way that harms us. And it is very important for us to see it this way, because there is no good or bad necessarily. I always say that, right? It's all about how do we engage with it, right? Do I give my energy? Where do I focus my energy on? And how do I moderate and anchor my frequency into something? What am I plugged into, basically? And there are a lot of things that I could talk about, but the impact that technology has on our nervous system cannot be underestimated. And I'm saying this because a lot of you are also messaging me with, oh my gosh, what's going on here and there and wherever, right? I feel all over the place. I feel on and then I feel off, and we have these roller coaster frequency rides, and we wonder why. And the reason really is because the easiest way, so to speak, to get us off hook is with frequency, because you are walking antenna, right? It's basically, I always like to bring that analogy, but if someone just plays heavy metal in the background and it's really not something that you feel drawn to, and you are being exposed to heavy metal 24/7, of course you feel like shit, right? Of course you do. So sometimes we don't even realize that someone puts heavy metal on in the background of our fucking life, right? And sometimes we play heavy metal without even noticing, right? And our body is just like, this is not a vibe. Like, I just don't like it, I can't, like, I need to escape, I need to run, I need to, like, I feel like on the edge, like, what's happening, I don't even understand. And then it's basically, meanwhile, you've been listening to heavy metal on a very low pitch maybe, but still it had an impact on you, right? And that heavy metal analogy, that can be so many things. It can be people, it can be situations, it can be even food and the diet that you have, right? Or your daily routine. What is the vibrational off tone that you keep exposing yourself to? Because the threshold, and I want to say tolerance for us doing that, is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. I've been saying that in a previous episode, that basically it instantly backfires if we do something that is out of alignment with our nature, because right now the most important thing for us is to be in our nature. And it's not just for us, it's for the planet at large, right? And so consciousness, you can say, is doing everything to make us aware that we are off track, right? And again, it can happen instantaneously because the vibration or the veil, however you want to say that, is so thin that we instantly get feedback. And that feedback can, again, mean your body, right, is reacting, or it's an emotional wave that kicks in and you just all of a sudden feel like fucking crap. Stuff is coming up, you feel emotional, you feel like what just happened, what hit me, right? And it is because emotions, energy in motion, it's the easiest way to instantly like let you know, hey, look, there's a course correction needs to happen because you just did something that's really not your nature, right? So it's a blessing, actually. It's feedback. It's feedback, you can say, from consciousness, from the stream of consciousness, to let you know, hey, wait, have you done something, right? Was there something that you did that is actually not in alignment with your nature, right? And therefore you are literally not in tune anymore. You're plugged into something that is, I want to say, artificial or just not you, right? And I want to say that in terms of the whole algorithm theme, because we're influenced every fucking where nowadays, everywhere. And the exposure to screens and to other people's holograms and projections and points of view and perceptions, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere. It's social media, and all of that is a blessing and a curse at the same time, right? That's why I said, like, you are the algorithm, make it work for you. Meaning, what do you expose yourself to? What is happening in your Instagram world? You know, when you open Instagram, what do you see? Right? Isn't it quite fascinating that everyone sees a different version of Instagram, right? Everyone sees a different version of the World Wide Web. Everyone has a different version of, basically YouTube. Literally, everyone has their own little YouTube. Why do I say that? It's never the same YouTube. It's never the same Instagram. It's never the same. Because every single person on this planet has an algorithm that works in a specific way, that targets that person in a specific way, and shapes, so to speak, what you see, what kind of Instagram you have. And it's about training the algorithm to make it work for you. So you see stuff that is actually in alignment with your nature, in alignment with your true frequency, and maybe even helping you elevate the frequency instead of the opposite, right? Because otherwise, your nervous system, I mean, let me not even go into the technology side of it, where it's already taxing for your nervous system to be exposed to something that actually emanates a frequency, right? So I'm always airplane mode and as much as possible away from my devices. Like literally, my body has an allergic reaction. Like I can literally feel it, or I wear my shungite. And I'm not making it the devil or anything like that, right? Because again, we can use these things, but it's in moderation. And we can balance it out by going into nature, into other frequencies, right? That helps us cleanse that away from us again, right? We don't have to sit in front of that thing the whole fucking day. I mean, some people have to, which is very unfortunate, but look at them, right? What it does to their bodies, to their ability to center and focus, right? And again, it's not just technology. We have to have that awareness that in every single thing we touch, we engage with, there is a frequency. There is a vibration in that. What is that vibration? What is that frequency? What do you expose yourself, right, to every single day? Because the more we pollute it, the more we have to cleanse it again. So it's like, oh gosh, all this work, right? And I was sitting there too and like asking, consciousness, like, hey, how can I make it easier for myself? Because I am just this very sensitive fucking being. I'm grateful for my gifts, but then also like, how do I even cope with the world, right? How do I even function here? And the answer is always eliminate the exposure as much as possible. It doesn't have to mean that you have to cocoon yourself, right? But be mindful and then go in nature, let it cleanse you. It's every single day, hug a tree, every single day, do something that really calms your nervous system in a way. I want to say resets, not calms. There's no calming that needs to be done. It's just a resetting. It's like letting that go, letting that shit go, not letting it build up, Use water, shower, drink good water, all of these things. I know it's so fucking basic, but I felt the need to talk about it because I can feel the congestion in the field, if that makes sense. Like I can feel this electric congestion. And it's funny because I have one of my friends and she worked at Apple, and she texted me that she quit Apple, like she stepped away from Apple. And at the same time, a client of mine literally told me that she bought an Apple Watch and shit hit the fan, like the new Apple Watch with the fucking new technology, whatever it is all about. And shit hit the fan with like her entire apartment, a shit show. And my friend, the other one, had a flood. And I'm just like, okay, guys, I feel like there's a message here with all of that Apple technology stuff. Like, can we just backtrack, return the new Apple Watch because we don't need another thing to track us, right? We can actually listen to our bodies. And also, like, yeah, my friend here over there did the right thing, following her soul and quitting Apple. So it's kind of funny. Like, it was literally synchronicity. So yeah, I feel like that's a huge message for all of us. I can even go deeper into, how it affects your eyesight and your third eye and basically your connection to higher realms. Not because there's something necessarily in it that, whatever. It's more so because you clog your vibration, you overshield it. It's, how do I put it into words? You are not as fine-tuned anymore, right? It's like in German you would say abgestumpft. So you harden your sensitivity in a way, right? Because that happens automatically because you kind of put a wall around your sensitive aura, right? In order to be able to use it. And then because of that, you have that wall around you in your aura. That's how I see it. It's just like, it's a protective mechanism that then works against you though, because then you're also plugged out of your nature and your intuition is a little bit like disconnected from you because you shielded yourself and you're plugged into other people's holograms. So it's this like, yeah, it's fun and games to entertain yourself sometimes, but do it with a level of awareness and always with the intention, or I want to say standard, of resetting yourself afterwards and returning back to your source, right? Knowing that this is not your source. So obviously I use social media too, and I love it, all the people that I can connect with, and me being able to share everything I'm doing for years now, and like, making friends all over the world. It's amazing, right? But I also had these periods where it was over polluting me and over harming me. And especially with everything that's going on right now, I mean, some people, again, have like all of the war stuff in their social media. And the minute they open, it's like, oh, another thing and another thing, right? Or with banking and money, and then it's exposed to that. So it's like, that doesn't promote a frequency of peace in your field or in anyone's field. And it's not about bypassing it, but it's about understanding that what we can do is to elevate our frequency in order to raise the overall frequency of the planet, right? And you have to ask yourself if the things that you are doing on a day-to-day basis, are they actually doing that? Or are they putting even more lower, denser, anxious energy into the field, right? because you are an algorithm too, right? You're an algorithm for the collective as well. People could follow you, your frequency, your aura, your vibration, right? The people that you are energetically connected with or entangled with, they feel your vibration. They feel when you're off, they feel when you're on, they feel when you're anxious, they feel when you're peaceful, they feel when you're in bliss. You don't even have to talk to them. We are energetically entangled with those people. There are bonds that are invisible to the eye, to most people, but they are there, right? So it's something that you don't just do for yourself and your own cells. It's for the cells of humanity. And with Pluto in Aquarius, and also right now a lot of Pisces energy in the air, we have to be aware of our energetic responsibility here too, right? What world do you want to shape? What world do you want to create? What world do you want to have around you, in you, right? Because your vibration also makes you a vibrational match to specific scenarios, to specific versions of Earth, so to speak. So I really want you to sit with that. Your vibration is it that determines where you end up, right? In which version of Earth, in which reality. And the things that you are doing on an energetic level vote for specific vibrational frequency. And I can really see how we are being right now, I want to say, measured vibrationally. Where are we at? Can we stay our center? Are we, coasting? Are we holding the frequency? Do we have the tools to bring our frequency back if we flip? It's not the end of the world. We all have those days. Usually it's when you are tired or when you are unaware, all of a sudden something knocks you and you're like, fuck, what happened? I was just severely plugged out, right? And then really reassess, like, what did I do? Like, what happened? Like, why did it knock me off? And how can I use all of my tools, right, to get back into alignment as soon as possible? What's my toolkit? Because you have all of the tools. It's a privilege. It's literally like, we have them, so we have to use them, right? Can use sound, music, nature, good food, rest, sleep, like recharge, talk to people that I like. We have everything literally at the tip of our toes, fingers, whatever. We just have to use it. Use the toolkit, use the resources. And you will instantly be back. So be aware of your own algorithm and the way you shape your world with the algorithm, with the actions. Again, the algorithm is the best example for how your frequency and your energetic voting shapes your world. You shape your own Instagram with what do you give a like, what do you pay attention to, right? And then the algorithm instantly, okay, let me shape her Instagram world like this, expose her to this. And in the very same fucking way, you shape your world, right? It's literally funny. But we are not so aware of that, where it's like, okay, in the very same way as, I pay attention to that one video, like cat videos on Instagram for 30 minutes, right, a day. All of a sudden, I'm seeing cat videos all over my Instagram. Wow, I guess I just shaped my Instagram. I designed it, right? In the same way, it's like, oh, I was outside in nature and looked at the trees for 30 minutes, All of a sudden, I feel peaceful, I feel blissful, I feel, life is beautiful, right? What an amazing world. Or the contrast, I'm out there, supermarket, everyone is in hectic and like pressure and like busy. All of a sudden I feel like time is passing by and like I have no time and I'm in a rush. Well, guess what? What do you pay attention to? What do you give your energy to? You know? So be aware of your own fucking power to create or to be an algorithm. And then ask yourself how you want to train your algorithm. What do you want to see? How do you want to shape your world? What world do you want to live in? And basically give to the world as an example of a world that we can live in, right? So let me know how this episode sits with you, resonates with you. It just felt really important to plant that seed, especially as we had Mercury conjunct Neptune. And now we'll have the Sun conjunct Neptune over the weekend, which is a big transit. It can feel really foggy, we can feel really plugged out, or we can be so incredibly connected to our higher self that it's just fucking epic. And I really feel the veil being so thin, which is probably why I need to talk about that sensitivity relative to energy and our ability to, again, be the algorithm, but not someone else's algorithm. Because, let's not kid ourselves. There's also advertisements, there's suggestions, let's say, for a specific algorithm of world out there that we could say yes to, or we can plug out of. Because that's not our version of Earth. Or at least it's not the world that we want to live in. So ask yourself. Right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we came here to do, to create alternative worlds for the world that we entered. To be like, no, let's make this a better place. Let's make this better here. And I pray that you do that. You know what I'm saying now? By stepping into your magic, yes? And again, also here, shameless plug, as always. But if you need a reset in your cellular structure, right? A remembrance of why you came here, what your energetic field is all about, what your nature actually feels like. Human design, astrology, the gene keys specifically. I love working with them nowadays because they go so much deeper and helps you really to alchemize that shadow aspect in your genome, in your DNA, to transmute it into the city, which is what we all came here to do, right? It's just like we inherited specific patterns in our DNA and usually fall into the shadow from trauma, from all kinds of different conditioning, right? Or algorithms we've been exposed to from an early age on, and we're not so able to be aware, right? And so, yeah, we have a hard time transitioning from the shadow through the gift into the city. But ultimately, we chose to experience the shadow so we could transmute it into the city. But are you doing those things, right? Are you doing the homework? Are you the city in the genome? Or will you continue to be the shadow, right? Or stuck in the middle in the gift frequency for your entire lineage, for the entire planet, right? City is the highest form of light that we can shine. And if we are aware of which assignments we have on a genetic basis, that's fucking epic, It's like, oh, okay, gene key 22nd, for example. I'm here to be the city of that. Okay, gene key 10, very prominent in my chart. I'm meant to be the city of that. Where am I at here, right? Because automatically you will also feel more radiant, better, right? Like, fuck, this is what I came for. So if you would like to shine a light on that, let me know. You know where you can find me and my readings. Magic Kathi Official on Instagram. And yeah, or shoot me an email, info@abracadabrababy.de if you need more information on that. I also mentor people long-term for really transmuting the shadow into the city, because it's been a wild journey for myself, honestly. It's something that is not for the faint of heart. It's not always easy, but ultimately it really activates, for me anyways, that warrior inside where I'm like, I'm not gonna settle for the shadow here. I know I can transmute this into the fucking highest, most epic story, and that excites me. And instead of being afraid, right, and remain in the shadow, I'm just like, yes, let's do this. Because it's not just for me, it's for everyone. And that's always a message for Pluto in Aquarius. So do it not just for yourself, do it for the cells of humanity. It's your duty and your greatest purpose, really. So with all of that being said, please share it with someone, the episode, that needs that reminder, that needs to be reminded of their algorithm, that just needs to, lighten up a little bit, whatever it is, or is a little bit congested and polluted in their field, who knows. But you make the world a better place by sharing the episode, because again, it's a specific frequency these episodes also carry, and you carry it to someone else, right? And yeah, all of these things have an influence. You sharing a book or recommending something else that elevated your frequency with someone else, also elevating their frequency. So it's like, what are we doing energetically here on this planet, right? So another side note. And obviously for me as a creator, it means the world to me if you share these episodes too, and if they are heard by more people and elevate a lot more souls on this planet, because that's what we need, more light. And it all starts with your light. Step in your magic.